Hello, my name is Andrew Bolinger. I'm here on behalf of the student branch of the Purdue DMA, and today I'll be showing you how to score your own buck. So first, when scoring, you're going to need several materials. For this case, we used electrical tape to mark out the antlers on the side, make a better view on the camera. You're going to need some sort of measuring method. We have a flexible tape, and we also have a 1/4 inch steel tape. So first, when you begin measuring, you're going to start by measuring your main beam, which I have marked here in green electrical tape. When you measure this, you're going to start from the burr, or the base of the antler, go along the outside of the antler, all the way along where I have the green mark taped, all the way to the tip. Once you've calculated or recorded this measurement on your paper, and the particular paper I'm using today to record my measurements is on the Boone and Crockett website for typical whitetails. Now you want to measure the upright or normal points on this antler. A normal point is anything an inch in length or longer. So here I'll be starting on the G1 or the brow tine. When you're measuring, you kind of want to draw an imaginary line across the main beam and measure to the tip of the tine. So this is 3.5. You'll measure that and record on your sheet. Move on to the next tines. You want to measure every tine excluding the main beam. So in this case, you'll not measure this final point here on the end. Once you've measured both sides, you'll now move on to the circumferences of the antler. So measuring circumference, you want to go or measure a total of 4 circumferences, and you go about halfway in the middle of the antlers. Wrap your tape around, measure to the nearest 1/8 of an inch. So in this case, this is 4 inches. You record that, write on your sheet, move on to the next circumference. As I mentioned, you want to measure 4. So here you're going to start first one here, second one between your G1 and G2, third one between your G2 and G3, and your final one between your G3 and G4. In this case, it's a 10-pointer, so you have 4 tines to measure between. If it was an 8-pointer, you would have this extra tine would not be here, so you'd go half between the end point and your last upright point. You do this on both sides, and then you also want to measure the inside spread of the buck. So this is taken roughly halfway in between the 2 antlers, and this wants to be the widest measurement. In this case, it is 17 inches. So once you have finalized and recorded all your measurements, you now total up your measurements to come up with a final score for this buck. When measuring deer, there's some terms used as grain scoring, a gross score, and a net score. A grain score is a buck that's been scored prior to the drying time to allow for shrinkage in the antlers. A gross score is the score of all points added up, not including deductions. In this case, this buck is pretty symmetrical, meaning there's no points that are unnormal from one side to the other, so you'll have a total score. If it had abnormal points, those would be deductions and be removed in order to get your net score. If you'd like to test your knowledge once you learned it in this video, please click on the link at the bottom of the screen. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the woods.